Oh, hello everybody. Muted? No. Was I ready to go? No. Did the train get here first? Yes. Hello everybody. And welcome to Cohutta, Georgia. Everybody, well, let me officially welcome you to Cohutta, Georgia, where we finally got back online. So to answer the question, were y'all muted? I guess maybe the answer is yes, because Mike didn't have everything put together. One of which was the sound recorder that attaches to the Mevo camera. So, sun is setting rapidly. West, east, north, south, kind of is the layout. Dalton and Varnell behind you. Control point long, Appison, Ottawa, Spooky Water Tower, all that way, which would be to the north. We're on the Atlanta North District here, which is considered north-south, obviously. It is double-tracked here in Cohutta. And while we can't see it from here because the other side is actually better to shoot from and turn as it goes to Dry Valley and up to Control Point Long and on up to Appison. But on that side, we'd have to shoot directly into the setting sun right now. So we are on not the most advantageous, but not a bad spot. Have a long approach. So if you rail fan here, you have a crossing way back. I think it's called Wheeler Dam Road. So you get notification way ahead of time on the northbound traffic. If you set up on the other side of the track, there's a large public parking lot there, and you have an incredible view way down the track, even further than what you see here. So you can never get caught flat-footed if you're over there and something sneaks up on you. Now, also located here is the eye line. And right on the other side of the caboose, right beside the caboose, the eye line splits off on kind of a Y, so a lazy right, if you will, and goes up to Cleveland. They don't use it. The MOW goes up. The MOW equipment is usually what goes on up there. But it is possible if something was to occur and NS needed to, let's just say, like, for example, when the derailment occurred, when they hit the beam that you all have seen on one of our videos up in Collegedale, they were able to use the eye line so traffic wasn't shut down totally. Now, it's not super convenient, but there is a way that they could run the trains up the eye line. But otherwise, you don't see any traffic on the eye line. Every now and then, somebody will call and say, hey, there's one going to go down the eye line, and everybody rushes over because it's not something you're going to see. So basically, when you rail fan here, double track Atlanta North District. There is a siding line over, so they can store equipment and what have you up. The town of Cohutta is over on the right, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I want to welcome you all to Cohutta. Let's see what time it is. It's currently 4:36 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be here until 5:30. Then at 5:30, we have to promptly leave because we have dinner reservations and I have to go pick up Mrs. S. And I promised I would because I took the whole day off to spend with you guys. And I want to make sure I give equal time to Mrs. S. Happy wife, happy life, happy house, happy dog. More rail time with you guys and gals tomorrow and the next day and thereafter. And this week, all the way to Virginia for Santa train number 83, I think it was that Alan told me earlier. So let me give you a little look here. As you can see, we're in the shadows, so a little hard to see me. All right, first of all, the reason we're here right there is Crash's Caboose. Y'all have heard Crash talk about the caboose. And they recently this year relocated from Prater's Mill, the red caboose over here. Cleaned it up, painted it, and there it sits. So, Cohutta is the red caboose town that Crash has told you all about. Now, the eye line goes up that way between the trees. The Atlanta North District follows that quiet train that you all just saw because we didn't have sound on yet. And that is a huge, lazy curve to the left. And if you're over in this parking lot, over here by the old bank, and right there is the old bank. And the ice cream store was in there, for those of you that were here last year. And it has moved out of the old bank. Matter of fact, the old vault is still in there. But the ice cream store has moved just beyond and is in the back part of the Red Wolf Cafe. A very, very popular spot here in town. And right there on the other side of that building is the post office, and next to it is the general store. And I love that place because they have fantastic pizzas that they make there. Next time Crash is on with us, you ask Crash. And they have sub sandwiches. The bread they make, oh my goodness. And the folks at the Old Country General Store are just the absolute nicest people. As the school bus goes by us, they're just the absolute nicest folks in the old country general store. Super clean, great food. You can sit out front underneath the umbrellas and watch the railroad tracks, or you can sit inside. That's one of those places, when you come to Cohutta, you have to visit. And like I said, great spot where you see that white car parked. You can just kind of see the top of it. There's a great big parking lot there, public parking lot. There's sidewalks across. You can park right there and you can see everything you want to the right and to the left. So if you're looking for places to go, you want to hang out with the old red caboose, this is where you go. You can go over to the caboose. Scott, good to see you. And I hope I've answered your questions on where we are. Cohutta is in between Varnell and Appleton, Tennessee. Thanks, Todd, for letting me know that I wasn't all the way done. I was in such a rush to get this thing on. I missed part of the process. And as you know, there's a number of things that we do before we go live, and so we were rushing everything together. Hello, Jonathan. So I got just one or two more things to do. Hopefully we can catch another train here before 5:30, and I'll be right back, y'all, so don't go nowhere. Just a little bit about Cohutta, if for those of you who've never been here. Like I said, right over there is the Red Wolf Cafe. Great place to eat. They have live music. And like I said, the country store, the country general store over there. And our focus on the caboose. And Cohutta is just a small town here in Whitfield County, Georgia. Most of you probably never been here. There's the old church downtown. And it's close to the Cohutta Wilderness. Very rich in history all the way back to the Civil War here. And we're not far from Prater's Mill. And the wildlife fisheries facility is located here. We're not far from Red Clay State Historic Park. And I'm not going to tell you all about those places, but if you'd like to know more about it, it's based around the Indians, visit Red Clay State Historic Park. And it's not far from here. You'll find that very interesting and a place that you'll want to go. Prater's Mill, again, it's a very historic grist mill that has a lot of different events throughout the year. So you might want to plan a trip kind of around that. Anybody want to know how big Cohutta is? Well, according to the census, in 2020, the population size here was 764 folks, and the average age of someone that lives in Cohutta happens to be 32 years of age. The average household income here, according to AI, is $98,561. Trains have been very, very, very important to the development of Cohutta and its existence. So it is just one of those places when you come visit Crash's Caboose and Railfan here, especially in the morning. In the morning up until noon, in that parking lot, we have some great video shots of trains that are both north and southbound. You just get tremendous sun on whatever it is that you're going to try and catch. So morning shots up till noon, fantastic. You have a nice background, huge trees, lots of greenery. So just, again, one of those places that's just outside of Dalton and not too far from Chattanooga that you want to come visit. So hopefully that's just enough to kind of tease you a little bit with the idea of, hey, I think I want to go visit Cohutta, get my picture next to the old red caboose, grab me a sandwich from one of the two restaurants, have a great lunch during my railfan day, have some ice cream before I leave town, and have a super safe, very beautiful, here on the Norfolk Southern, Atlanta North District line in Georgia. So there you have it. We're kind of watching everybody come and go. Today is the 14th of November, 2025. The weekend happens tomorrow. Today is Friday, and only 6 days, nope, 13 days to Thanksgiving. So, how exciting is all of that? So, anybody got any questions? I'm on the chat. Ask away. And there is very, very limited cell service here. So, we are coming to you by satellite. Here on Production 6. and that is the Starlink, and that's how our signal gets to you. And as you know, to run a Starlink you need power, so we're running off the power system that production unit 6 carries. And the tablet, the sound recording device, everything travels together through the Wi-Fi signal provided from the Starlink. And then the tablet packs it all together, goes through the camera, it all bundles up, transmits to YouTube, where YouTube processes it and then sends it back out to you guys. Alright, approach called. Let's hear where he was approaching. Let's listen. But he said approach called. Up. Again, I look back downtown, and yep, you're right. They don't waste any time here. You do not want to sit on this crossing. No way. And you'll see everything from a forklift to a side-by-side go across these tracks, because you're kind of out in, I'm not going to say necessarily rural Georgia, but you're a ways outside of any large populated area. Lots of farmland and wildlife and what have you all around. And one red caboose. But yes, this is the Atlanta North End District. Yes, anything you guys see coming through here, for all intents and purposes, will be flying low. As you can see, the sun is setting fast. Anybody have any updates on the office car special? Let us know. Anybody have any updates on anything? Let us know. And if anybody's trackside, north or south of us, crash, we're dedicating this segment to you. And again, to make this possible, we are coming to you by satellite. So if you need a place to go that you can get away from the office, there's a good possibility if you come here, your cell provider may not be able to reach you here. Kit, by car, about 25 minutes to Dalton. By train, if you don't get tied up, probably about 15 or so down. But they have to slow down once they get to Dalton. So probably by train, 20 to 25 minutes to Dalton from here. So depending on what it is, and they don't, because it's double track until just outside of Dalton from this point. And then right outside of Dalton, up above kind of the north end, the very north end of the residential part of Dalton, is where you go from double down to single. If you've watched the Saw in the Sky video, that was shot on this line just south of here. As you can tell, on a Friday afternoon at 5:30, this is not what you would call a super busy town. It's just a peaceful, one-of-a-kind, very nice, very unique, wonderful train watching spot kind of town that you are going to want to visit if you're in our area. Let's change those batteries. There we go, fresh batteries in the scanner. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Every day is like another day in paradise.
That's good to hear, buddy.
Like I said, that is an old bank, and obviously an old church, but church still functions, and it's kind of cool to listen to the church bells. We're gonna hang out only till 5:30 at this location today, Eastern Standard Time, because for those of you just joining us, I am scheduled to pick Mrs. S up for dinner tonight at 6:15 at the house. So if anybody has any questions I can answer here about Cohutta, ask away. I'll be happy to see if I can figure out what you might want to know. And if we're lucky, and usually it stays kind of busy here, we might get to put one more in the bag and make it a 2.5 catch, because we got, just as we got here, the first train was going northbound, and as you all know, I managed to catch part of the train but no sound, so that took a hot Hey kid, how are you? Give me a moment, let me check my text. Hang on, Colt. Oh, wait a minute, wrong phone. Hang on. Colt, that is too funny. Colt has been feeling very creative today. That is pretty cool. The Dalton Crew. And he has used the theme from Thomas the Tank. That is just too cool. That is awesome. Thank you, Colt. I'll have to share that with everybody. Good job. He's got Production 6 and Thomas set up as characters at a crossing using Dalton. And then Casey and Jesse and everybody in Production 6. And then the Dalton Crew. With Colt, Gavin, and Mandy. That is too cool. Thanks, Colt. That is really, really cool. I had to get the other phone because I've got the other phones, the Starlink set up on it. And again, there's a look at downtown Cohutta, if there is such a thing. It's just a real nice place to go, great place to eat, and a super nice place to visit. There's the Red Wolf. On the other side of that building in the post office, the Cohutta General Store. Ice cream shops back on the other side of all that. And they just built this new business complex right over here. It's got all kinds of different things in. So you want to make sure you come visit this. Great, great rail fanning location here on the Atlanta North District. As you can see, peaceful little town on a Friday evening. As we have somebody sitting alongside the road, blasting away on the music. So it's going to be just a moment, and I'll be right back with y'all. Resolved? Well, we didn't resolve it. It resolved itself because they picked up their order and they left. There's the old, well, I guess in this case, the new old red caboose in Cohutta that Crash told you all about right alongside the railroad tracks. For those of you that weren't on with us earlier, we spent our first 4 hours trackside today in Dalton, where we had the excitement of catching NS 1230 Birmingham, NS 1231 Atlanta, the newly painted locomotives, pulling, leading, guiding the OCS for Norfolk Southern, and their first time northbound through town in the daylight, and their first trip to the south. The other night they went through kind of during the dark, so didn't get much to see them, as you know, for those of you. It was super cold when they came across 10 Bridge. We had a crowd and all the lights on because that was their first trip to the south for 1230 and 1231, recently painted and released out of Altoona. You better dance away fast. We gonna need it. everybody. That was Mrs. S checking on my timing and reminding me just in case I was thinking about being late. Because we're meeting her mother and sister for dinner as well. And yeah, I agree with you, Colt. Yeah, I certainly like today a whole lot better than that 27 degrees the other night. All my plants are froze, though. All right, it's 5:30. We could do 10 more minutes. So at 5:40, we'll have to end the live stream. Then I got to pack it all up and then go get Mrs. S. So we got 10 more minutes. So Todd, dance harder. That's all I can tell you. Just dance harder. You can do this. In the meantime, I know a couple folks that are trackside. Let me see if anybody might be still out, if we got anything close by. You hear the dogs barking over in the background? Todd. I got good news. Hang on. We're doing a little bit of packing. All right, everybody, if he will hurry, we have a southbound green on the far track. Southbound green on the far track. But he does have to hurry as we are critically short on time. Critically with a capital C. So that is the update here in Cohutta, Georgia at 5:38 p.m. So now, Todd, if you can just dance a little harder, you did the first part, you got us the green. Now we just need you to get us the train. Whoops, sorry there. Hey, Todd. Thanks. I like that comment. That's pretty cool. Keep Mrs. S happy. You are 100% right. Well, that worked out. He wasn't real long, but hey, he gave us a horn salute, and he created some fast-moving air. As you saw, they do roll through here. He was over on track number 2, around the corner, and he will be in Dalton between 20 and 30 minutes, unless he gets held up at Waring, which is on the very, very northern part of Dalton downtown. Other than that, I kind of think that's it for us. Don't forget, I know Casey's traveling this weekend. I'm not sure the status of Catch of the Week, but I'll let you all know. We will be trackside again tomorrow at the next crossing. Not sure where yet, just because they're just not sure what's going to be where and who's coming from what direction. So we'll play it by ear, but we will be out. We will be trackside, and we will be live, and we will be in Production Unit 6. So everybody, we kind of got to get to packing. Todd, you outdid yourself. You really did. Not only did you train dance a green light, you train danced the dance to get the train to come to the light. So good job. Very good job. You did better than I normally do. So everybody, I think that's it for now. Thank you, Todd. That's very nice. Hello, Eugene. How's everything in Virginia? All right, everybody, we're going to roll it out. Who's going to close this off first? Somebody. That's right. We will see y'all at the next crossing. Thanks for a fantastic day together as we saw for the first time going north the 2 new engines, the Atlanta and the Birmingham, recent release for Norfolk Southern, 1930 and 31, taking that OCS through Dalton. Like I said, it's not the first time we've seen the OCS, but the first time behind those 2 newly painted locomotives. All right, see y'all at the next crossing. From downtown Cohutta. And this show is dedicated to Crash. And there is the red caboose. For those of you that just joined, there is the red caboose that Crash has told you all about so many times while he hangs out here in Cohutta, Georgia.